13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
New York City. They say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. From being the biggest city in the United States, it's got fat cats, huge rats, oh and yeah, Jason Voorhees. We are on Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. After the last video with the New Blood, I was about to throw in the towel, guys. That movie was so fucking bad that I just could not take any more Friday the 13th movies. I know, I've been doing this series for over 4 months now. That's sad in its own merit.
Look at you! Fucking pathetic!
I said this in my last video. The first few movies weren't my favorite, but they got pretty strong with 4 and 6, and I thought 7 would be awesome as well, but it wasn't. This series overall isn't my favorite. I'm watching all the movies for the first time. It was supposed to be over the summer, but now it's fucking fall, because I can't make a video to save my life. Directed by Rob Hedden and distributed by Paramount Pictures again, I think that they wanted to take this series in another new direction. How many new directions can this franchise really go through? We're going to New York fucking City, so that's cool, I guess. I thought at least. I thought this whole movie would take place in Manhattan, but that's not the case at all. It's called Jason Takes Manhattan. No, it should be called Jason Takes a fucking boat for the first hour and then arrives in Manhattan for the last 40 minutes. Anyways, we get some cool ass introduction explaining New York City with some awesome music to go along with it. The sax is hitting and the vibes are just right. Yeah, you can't forget the Statue of Liberty. You gotta get that in every single New York City movie. It's a staple to our country and to the city itself. So merci beaucoup, you French motherfuckers. You guys are real ones for that. Movie kicks off on a boat. We meet Jim Miller and his girlfriend Susie, two lovebirds that are totally getting it on. I mean, it's a Friday the 13th movie, but shit, I didn't know we were gonna get sex this early. They're doing their thing. They're on some boat and they're right in front of Camp Crystal Lake. Not the best place to put your boat, I'm not gonna lie. Especially because Jason is a real being in this universe. He has been around. He has killed countless motherfuckers. And yeah, he's been dead a few times, but shit, he always comes back.
I didn't hear no bell.
So Jim starts telling Susie the legend of Jason Voorhees, and it cuts to young Jason drowning in the lake. This is going to be really important to this film. They really want to emphasize Jason drowning because it connects to our final girl that we'll meet in a little bit. But yeah, we see Jason drowning and Jim's like, hey, I gotta drop the anchor.
Gotta throw the anchor holder.
And this fucks everything up. Good going, Jim. Jason gets resurrected from some power line in the water. And yeah, Jason's back on ass. As Jason gets on board, he kills Jim first with a spear gun. Jim, you had it coming, buddy.
What up, biatch? Leave it at the tone.
And then he gets his girlfriend Susie as she's hiding away. First 2 kills right off the bat, and I was ready to roll. Now, this movie doesn't show a lot of the kills, and it's really not as gory as some of the other films have been. That's probably because the MPAA just said, fuck you, Friday the 13th, kind of like how they did with Part 7. They really had a hard-on for these movies, and they didn't want them showing all the blood and guts. It's a horror movie, guys. We gotta see that shit. So then the movie really kicks off. We see the SS Lazarus, cool-ass name, by the way, about to take off for New York City. We got the graduating senior class aboard of Lakeview High School. It's chaperoned by this dude named Charles. He's the typical teacher who's a dickhead, and his niece, who is named Rennie, is also coming along. He doesn't know this at first though, because she's brought by her English teacher Colleen. He doesn't want her to come along because Rennie has aquaphobia and she's scared shitless of water. But anyways, he's kind of pissed, but Colleen's like, hey, it's gonna be alright. And then he's like, hey, where are Jim and Susie? They were supposed to be here as well. And then she gives this weird ass comment.
They probably decided to explore each other rather than New York.
Oh, that's nice.
So then we meet the captain of the ship with his first mate and the captain's son, Sean. Now, Sean is kind of dating Rennie, and Sean's friend looks like Logan Paul, so there's that.
Let's do it!
Captain's a stereotypical dad. He wants his son to be a captain just like him, and the son's like, I don't want to be a captain, Dad. He's not really the best with this shit, and we'll learn about that later on as well. So the dad's pretty much like, hey, son, you're in charge, right? You're gonna get this boat on the water. Let's fucking go. And so he's like, you know what you gotta do? And then he does a few things, and then the dad's like, you forgot one thing. And he's like, what? And he's like, you gotta
send out the International Maritime Signal, followed by a security broadcast warning other ships that we are underway.
And then the son storms off. And then we get a little montage of the SS Lazarus and all of the people on board as it's setting sail. Goodbye, coast. We're heading to New York City. Hell yeah. The thing is, they're gonna be trapped on here with Jason Voorhees, which isn't the best person to be trapped on a boat with. We see Sean giving Rennie some cheap ass necklace of the Statue of Liberty, and she's like, oh, it's beautiful, and he puts it on her neck. And then we meet JJ and Wayne. JJ's a wannabe rock star. She's totally jamming that shit out while Wayne's videotaping her. You know, it's pretty cool. It's a great location, I guess, to film a music video, and Wayne's a cameraman, so hell yeah. But JJ fucks up, goes downstairs, she's in the boiler room where the fucking gears are at and shit. I don't know anything about fucking boats. And Jason is sneaking up on her ass and gets her with her own guitar. That evening, Rennie is in her room just doing her thing when she looks through the little porthole and sees a young Jason drowning. This is sort of the first clues that she has a connection with Jason, but everyone in these fucking movies has a connection with Jason. And then we meet my favorite character, Julius. I mean, this guy's a total badass. He's just beating the shit out of people.
Perfect.
And we see Tamara and Ava up top watching this all go down. Now, Tamara, she's mean, she loves to do drugs, and she doesn't ever think she'll get caught because she's the queen bee. She takes Ava into some room, she pulls out some coke. It's always coke in these 80s movies, right? And she starts doing some drugs. She's like, Ava, you should do some. And Ava's like, I don't know, I don't want to lose my science scholarship. And she's like, do you think I would ever get caught doing drugs? And Ava's like, oh, that's a good point.
A few of those delicious nose clams.
So the boxer who lost to Julius is in the sauna. Jason sneaks in. This is probably my favorite kill in the movie, at least one of them. He takes one of the hot rocks and shoves it into his stomach, killing him on impact. So Colleen and Rennie are walking along the ship, having a conversation, when Tamara totally shoves Rennie overboard.
I was maxing my swerve.
She gets pulled out moments later, but she sees a young Jason in the water while she's down there. She keeps having more visions of Jason when she goes into the bathroom to wash her hands. Some blood comes out of the faucet and a young Jason's in the mirror again. This movie's kind of like a haunted house at this point. There's just kind of random scares here and there, and you're in like this trapped environment. But also, these characters, they're really not the best. And I probably should have prefaced this video with that. They all kind of suck. For the most part, they're just kind of boring to watch. So then we get this scene. Tamara is supposed to have this biology report done, and Dr. Charles walks in to see her finished product, but it's all over her body and she's like half naked. This is all a ploy to get him blackmailed. She has Wayne waiting outside videotaping because she knew that he would fall for it. It's disgusting, it's weird. Dr. Charles, I know you're a dick and all, but you're supposed to be a respected professional and you're making out with one of your students?
Hey.
Wayne also shoots his shot with Tamara, telling her that he's had the hots for her for a long time, but she's like, no way, buddy. Well, Tamara, you're getting what's coming to you because Jason comes in looking for blood and he finds her in the bathroom. He smashes some glass. This Jason, played by Kane Hodder again, I don't think it's as good as part 7. There's kind of like a swamp monster thing going on. He is violent when he hits people and the destruction of his hits. When he smashes this glass, it totally shatters and he takes a shard and destroys Tamara with it. Alright, remember Captain Robertson and his first mate from the beginning of the movie? They're conducting this boat, they're doing this thing, they're trying to get these newly graduates to New York City when Jason sneaks up behind them and kills them both.
Oh my god.
So Sean comes and finds his dad and the first mate dead. I'm sorry, Sean, you just lost your dad and now you're gonna have to get everyone to safety. It's time for the boy to become a man. He calls an emergency meeting. At this emergency meeting, Dr. Charles is trying to say he's in charge, he's gonna be orchestrating everyone, and don't worry, he's the man for the job. And Julius is like, hell no, dude. I don't know about you, but we're gonna find this motherfucker and take him down before it's too late. So Ava eventually finds Tamara's dead body and starts running. Jason's right there and the chase is on. He eventually gets her into this disco room where everyone's supposed to be partying and he chokes her ass to death. He slams her body on the ground afterwards. Julius devises a plan and gives this awesome line.
What are you taking, Julius? Nothing but this gun.
And then Wayne totally gets smoked as he's searching around with his camera still. I mean, dude, put the camera down. I know you want to be a filmmaker and all that, and that's awesome. But in a situation like this, you got to worry about your survival. Totally pays the price for it and literally gets set on fire by Jason. So as Julius and his crew are out looking for Jason, Logan Paul's ass gets thrown off the top beam of this ship right onto some spikes. Jason is able to teleport. I know that's a known thing with all these horror characters that they can kind of just teleport around, but this movie doesn't even try to disguise that. He also throws Julius off board, which I thought that was Julius's death, and I was a little upset because I was like, dude, Julius is the best character and you're just gonna kill him like that? Rennie sees a young Jason tweaking out, and then the real Jason gets her behind the neck through the porthole. She's able to stick him in the eye and stun him. So the ship is flooding now. They're able to eventually get to a small boat on the side of the ship to get out of this crazy situation as it's downpour raining. On the little boat, we got Dr. Charles, Colleen, Rennie, Sean, Toby the dog, and of course Julius, who gets on because he's a total badass and he survived the raging waves and water of this storm. They're in the open waters on the east coast of the states trying to get to New York City. Sean's doing everything he can. He's trying to redeem himself, and you know, his character does have a little bit of growth, I suppose. You know, at the beginning, he doesn't want to take on the mantle of being a captain, but he's forced into unpredictable circumstances, and he gets the job done. In New York City, they all get on to the mainland. They're in the city now. Everything should be good, right?
No, Jason's right behind them.
He's an excellent swimmer. This was proven in the 5th movie, I believe. He can just swim like none other. He's like a fish in the water. I know he drowned, and that's the way he died, but somehow that has made him the greatest swimmer ever. I mean, way better than Michael Phelps ever was. This guy swam from the SS Lazarus to New York City, which took them on the boat so long. This guy is just a shark in the water. In the city, you would think that they'd be able to lose Jason, right? I mean, New York consists of 8 million people, and just so many people for Jason to kill. I know he's after Rennie in some aspects because of their connection, but come on, it's such a loose connection. The group's walking along, and these two thugs totally stick him up at gunpoint. Welcome to New York, baby. First day in the city and you're already getting mugged.
Give me your money. Everyone shut up and give him the money. Now!
Oh, great heavens!
These guys are total lowlifes. They say, give me your money, give me everything. They comply, and they take Rennie with them to do some terrible deeds. Sean and Julius want to go after these two scoundrels because, yeah, you're not going to just let them take Rennie like that. But Dr. Charles is like, no, they'll kill her, we can't. So they don't. At this drug den, the two addicts about to, just totally abuse her. But Jason's a great dude. I mean, he comes in and saves the day. He sees what's going on, and he fucks up these two guys, which is amazing. It was awesome to see, and Rennie's able to get out of there. So then Julius is calling for help. He's looking to get out of this situation too, but Jason stops him when he's on the phone. This leads to probably the best sequence of the movie. They climb up this ladder, they get to this rooftop, and it's on. It's Jason versus Julius 1989, the greatest heavyweight boxing match of all time.
Choose your fighter.
They're slugging it out. Jason's letting Julius just wham him, wham him, wham. And Julius does this for some time. He is giving him some great hits. Julius starts hitting with the body shots. You know, he's trying to, work that stamina, trying to tire Jason out. So Jason's the absolute unit that we know he is, and he eats these punches. Then Julius is pretty much like,
Your best shot. Motherfucker.
and Jason punches his head off with one clean hit.
Finish him!
Dr. Charles, Colleen, Rennie, and Sean are all back together with this cop. He's gonna help him out. He's like, let's get the hell out of here. I don't know about that Jason shit, but you guys seem like honorable folk, so I'm gonna call for backup. Jason, of course, stops the officer before he can call for backup and kills his ass. Rennie gets into the front seat and totally runs Jason over as he's standing in the middle of the street. You know, Jason sometimes just likes to get hit hard. But then Rennie sees a young Jason again and totally crashes the fucking car. There's gotta be a car crash in every single Friday the 13th movie. It's a staple of these films. I'm not even gonna joke about the car insurance that you gotta have in this universe because it's ridiculous. So everything comes together when they get out of the burning cop car. Rennie has a flashback when she was young on a boat at Camp Crystal Lake with Dr. Charles. Dr. Charles is like, you gotta learn how to swim. And she's like, I don't want to. He's like, you're gonna have to learn, and shoves her ass into the water.
Let's find out.
Better swim, Rennie. Jason pulled you down.
She sees Jason down there, and that has what scarred her for the rest of her life. It gave her the aquaphobia, which makes sense. I mean, Dr. Charles was a fucked up guy to begin with. I mean, we saw him with Tamara earlier, but jeez, man, like, just not redeemable. And he gets it fantastically when Jason comes back around and shoves his ass into this sewage garbage can and drowns him. Oh yeah, and Colleen also died when the car exploded. Anyways, we have Sean and Rennie as guys are two sole survivors, and Jason comes for more blood. He chases them down to the subway, trying to run from him. They're calling for help. No one gives two shits. Sean's able to stop the tracks, and Jason falls on his ass. When he tries to get them from the back of the subway, they're able to push him onto this power line that should honestly stop Jason for some time. They think it does, and they run again. Walking through Manhattan, trying to get away from Jason, just because if he comes back, he's going to try to kill them. He's not worried about anyone else. He's not killing anybody else. I mean, there's so many people for him to kill in these moments, and he just doesn't. So the final act of this movie, Sean and Rennie are down in the sewers. They're trying to get away from Jason still, and he's on their tail. This guy who's working down there, he's like, hey, what the hell are you doing here? They're like, we're trying to leave. Where's his exit? And he's like, well, I'll show you, but you're just in the nick of time because this place is going to fill with toxic waste. Jason, of course, fucks that guy up, knocks Sean out, and it's a chase between Rennie and Jason for a moment before Sean wakes up. This place is going to be smelling terrible in a few moments, and they're able to climb a ladder when Jason's right on their tail. He's pretty messed up because Rennie was able to, splash him with some toxic waste that burns his face. He doesn't look as cool when he has his mask off like he did in part 7. Just a little bit more cartoonish. I don't think the special effects really worked as well as they did. He's stumbling around, like I said. They're climbing this ladder. Tries to grab onto the ankle of them, but it's to no avail, and Jason gets swept up by this sewage water and toxic waste. And then he transforms back into his boyhood state, just laying there like a sad sack of shit. That's where they wanted to end it, with Jason becoming a little boy again. The whole tie-in between the water thing and Rennie and seeing Jason as a kid just didn't work for me personally, and I didn't really like how they ended Jason's story here. He's supposed to be dead again like in part 7, but of course he will come back. They get out of the sewers and hit Manhattan. Toby shows up again, and the movie ends. That's it. We get some funky ass music, credits roll, and it's over. I like this one more than the New Blood. They've taken a different setting, a different direction. It doesn't really work the best, but hey, they're fucking trying. The characters aren't good, but fuck. Most of these movies, the characters aren't good, so you really can't blame them for that, I guess. 4 and 6, I think, are just exceptions at this point. I think the scares and the setups, the way they introduce them and the way they execute them work for what they had and what they really could do. Maybe there's some budget constraints on, the whole New York City setting. I'm not too sure because this movie's misleading. I mean, it's called Jason Takes Manhattan, like I said in the beginning of this video, but it's Jason takes a fucking boat. Movie's a boat movie. It's a boat Jason movie with a sliver of New York City at the end. I'm gonna rank all these movies when I finish them, whenever the hell that is. Shit, it might be by fucking New Year the way I upload videos. This one's probably sitting at a 3.5 out of 10. Definitely not my favorite. We got Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, up next. If you guys like this video, consider subscribing to the channel for more horror content. Do I got anything else? No, I guess not. See you guys.